Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We are going to be testing out a very controversial palette. We have the Subculture palette right here. I have not looked at it. I have not opened this up. I have not done a dang thing. And I have watched a few reviews. Some people are really loving it and they're saying there's no fallout. There's no problems at all. Everybody's being so dramatic. And then there are other people that are putting a brush in and basically hitting pan and there's a powdery mess. And I just wanted to experience this for myself. To be honest, like the mix of reviews just made me super curious altogether. I will be doing some check-ins. This is totally WTF because I think that is what you think of when you see this palette online and people jamming a brush in and hitting pan. I got my knife. 3, 2, 1, let's do this. Woo! Okay. They packed it very nicely in some bubble wrap. This is the Subculture palette. Looking online, I did think that this was a beautiful palette. Like when you glance at the colors, you definitely think, wow, that's really beautiful. It looks more like a fall palette in my opinion. So launching right now in the middle of summer is kind of like, oh, this is not really like summertime. It would be like a nail polish collection launching a bunch of vampy fall type shades. So to me, this is something I would probably end up reaching for more so in the fall times of life. Look at those colors though. They are beautiful and you do get a nice brush in here. I just want to touch it. Electric actually feels wet, like wet. Huh. That's not terrible, to be honest. That's not totally terrible. All right, you know what I want to do? Because I want to capture all of this on camera super close up. So I'm going to zoom you guys in and we are going to take a peek at what happens with this palette. I kind of just want to, oh, dang. The fuck? For real? You've got to be kidding me. Oh my God. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that all of us in the beauty community are very dramatic. We just are. We pro and con the crap out of products. And I thought maybe people were being just a little bit crazy, like a little bit dramatic, like who wants to like jam their brush into their palette and screw it all up. Powdery shadows do exist and they give you more pigment, but this is like taking it to a whole new level. Wow, okay. That actually just sprinkled all over my desk. All right, so let's zoom in. My dramatic friends were not being dramatic. Look at this. That was from me barely, like, do you see? I'm like barely tapping. Do it, like gently tap into this one. Barely, right?
That's crazy. How about the others?
This is a loose powder. This is not a pressed pigment. Let's zoom in so that I can show everybody. All right, the first one I'm gonna go into, and I'm using just fluffy brushes from Clover. I'm just going to, that's not as bad as the other one. It's still, do we see how much pigment is on the brush though? Holy crap, okay. We're gonna go into Fudge. Didn't they already have Fudge out, or is this like a reformulation of it? You definitely will pick up a ton of product, even if you go in really light. I'm gonna show you again. The way they recommend is to just do like one dip, and that's how I'm gonna do my eyes to give it a really fair shot. But even if I just do one dip, it's just a lot. It's a lot. I'm so mad it's the Culture palette. Oh my God, that got on my floor. Why did I try to be funny and ruin my life? Okay, where were we? Laura Lee kind of did this close-up business already with her palette. We get it. It's very powdery. It's snowing. Yellow pigment. Okay, this one, not doing it. That one's fine. Okay, you guys, I got really curious and I just wanted to see if it was possible. Like if you are swirling your brush in here, it will fall apart. Like it just completely, I'm not even using a lot of pressure. So I don't think you're gonna have a long time to play with these, even if you use it gently. This is a problem. This is bad. Yeah, that's from a pressed shadow. This is really just very weird. Look at how much is here. I could build a sand castle. So this is a powdery palette, we get it. I'm sure you guys already knew that, but I wanna see how this blends on the eyes using the technique of just grabbing a tiny bit of color, focusing on blending out, and seeing also how the shadow wears. So I am gonna do a full day wear test, and I'm gonna start with the shade Dawn. I'm gonna go in and use this as my transition shade. I have primed my eyes, and I did coat them with a little excess powder when I was powdering my face, just to give a really smooth canvas for shadows to glide over. I am giving this palette a very fair shot. I have no bias when it comes to Anastasia products. I have never been on their PR list, but I also don't not like the brand. Like, I'm not mad about that. I actually, in almost every description box, if you look in my videos, go to the description, you will see that they have one of my very favorite brow products, the Brow Wiz. I list it all the time. Yeah, I love them as a brand. I'm a neat freak. This makes me mentally crazy. I can't even handle it. Okay, so moving on, I'm gonna take a different brush, and I am using my best of the best blending brushes. Again, giving this a very good chance to work some magic. I'm gonna go into Fudge and kind of work this on the outer edge. You guys, I like barely grabbed any at all. Okay, so it's blending, but this is not what I expected because I had only wanted to put this on the outer edge, so now I'm doing a completely different look. All right, great. I was able to get it to blend pretty nicely, and now I'm gonna go in with an even smaller brush, and I wanna go into Rowdy. This one is not as powdery. It's still powdery, but it's not as bad as some of the others. And we're just gonna hope for the best. So I'm gonna skim this and kind of try to define the crease a little more. You can make these blend. You have to go so slow with this because if you pick up too much product and go in hard, it will be just, the color will be everywhere and it will look really messy. But if you do go slow, you can make these work. I kind of want to go into this one right here, Untamed, on the lid and do something really different. I never do like a green like this. So I'm gonna take a flat brush. I'm gonna pick up Untamed. It's one of those shades where you have to pack it on. You can't blend it on. It like kind of wants to move around a little bit. That shade is a little bit choppy. It doesn't really want to blend. You have to more press it in. Oh my God. Do we see what's happening in the corner? I didn't even take it over there and it's fluffed up into my crease. No joke, for a minute, I was like, these are blending really nice. I don't really know what the big deal was. And the more I layer these on top of one another, do we see all the bald spot there? All right, so I'm putting more of this green on top. You know what's gonna be the saving grace? Adorn. I feel like this is one of those shadows that if you apply it with your fingertips, it's just gonna cover everything up. Oh my God. And it's literally flaking all over my face. I'm not even joking at this point. I feel like I was able to cover up a lot of the patchiness with this bronze shade. This is called Adorn. This is actually a pretty shade. It does have a lot of actual hard metallic fallout. So this is gonna be one of those shades that you definitely would wanna use before you do any of your concealing or whatnot, because I do have flecks of it everywhere. And if you use a glitter glue or something like that, or do it before you put on your foundation and concealer, you would be fine. So it's not totally horrible. It is more wet feeling, so like when you go into the pan, it's not giving you that same fluffy fallout, but you can see how messy it is. It is still pretty crazy. I'm gonna take a Morphe E36, I'm gonna go into Electric, and we're just going to pop this on the inner corner. Okay, I'm gonna try and re-blend a little bit up here. I really still want to darken up the outer corners just a little bit, so I'm going to take my fingertip with the shade Rowdy. Do you guys see how just messed up my hand is though? this is the look I came up with. It is very different from what I envisioned in my mind. I knew I wanted to use this brighter neon metallic in the inner corner, but I wanted to keep a lot of the focus of the darkness on the outer edge, and that just did not happen. It's kind of everywhere, and this has turned into a pretty crazy smoky eye, especially for daytime, but I am gonna wear this and do check-ins for you guys. So I'm gonna put on a little liner, lashes, and I will be right back. So I have now applied mascara. I'm skipping the lashes because I really am curious to see how the fading, creasing, wear time, whatnot situation goes on with these shadows. I just think for $42, with so much competition in the marketplace, there are way better options. So we're going to leave it right here, and I will do some check-ins and close-ups, and we will see the real deal about this subculture crazy palette. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, it is check-in time, and I'm having a coffee and gearing up to have a wild evening of grocery shopping. So that's the outing of the day. I thought I'd still take you guys with me. The eyeshadow is kind of a freaking mess.
Winning.
We're on a mission to be healthy. Do we see how many vegetables and good things are in here? And yes, my favorite beverages, hint, Zevia. And I'm gonna make some kind of like at-home pho kind of a dish tonight, I think. So yeah. What do you think?
What the fuck?
What the fuck? What do you think of my eyeshadow? Huh? Huh? He's giving me crazy looks right now.
You know what? I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay, moving on. So you guys, I am casually grocery shopping and I run into a subscriber, so I'm getting like a huge subscriber. Oh my god, I love. She actually works at Sephora.
Do in Calabasas.
And I'm getting an on-the-spot like subscriber look at the makeup.
You can be brutal, be honest. The colors are beautiful. You have a little bit of like
It's like
blending issues going on. I don't ever want to diss Tati.
I know!
Because Tati is queen.
Oh my gosh.
But like a little. I mean, for how good you usually do your makeup, it's
Thank you. She understands because normally my makeup is really blended. I did have some issues, but it is what it is. Thanks for being in my check-in. Oh my gosh, I'm honored. I love it. All right, I will see you guys with more check-ins in a little bit. Shoot, you guys, we have made it to the end of this video. I have not felt like I had the greatest makeup day. I think you know where I stand on this palette. It is a messy palette, but beyond that, I want to be very, very clear. The thing that I don't like about this is the pigment is not a controlled blend. It just kind of fluffs everywhere. There's too much product. I cannot believe that I'm saying something is too pigmented, but you can go there where it's just too much. And I think these colors don't blur out the way that I personally would want them to. And then beyond that, I did notice that the shadows faded quite a bit throughout the day. I just retouched up this eye and you can see the comparison of the actual fade. Now I've only been wearing these shadows for about 8 hours, so it hasn't been a crazy long day of wear time either. I have worked with so many different palettes and this one is unusually soft. I want to show you just as an example what happens when you go into a MAC palette. Just so you guys see the difference of what is really soft and what isn't. Like I'm going in here pretty hard. Do we see? Nothing is really happening, but I am getting color on the brush. I'm pressing really, really hard and there's a little bit of dust there, but nothing major. Like I'm barely touching that and it's just falling apart. The problem is not that eyeshadows get powdery when you touch it with a brush. It's just the amount of crazy powderiness all together with this palette. I have never seen anything like this. I'm gonna throw something out there that I really probably shouldn't because I respect Mario as a makeup artist so much, but no one's talking about the fact that the formula is similar on this palette as well. The colors are beautiful. The Master Palette by Mario, these are a little more blendable. I have worn these, I have done different looks with them, but this kind of does the same freaking thing, especially the warmer tones. It's just gonna do the same thing. This is all gonna come down to preference with what kind of shadows you like, how you like things to blend out. It's up to you. Let me know in the comments below, do you guys think this is worth $42? Do you think this was a huge flop? Is it a big deal to you that they're powdery? Is it not? Let me know. I would love to hear your feedback because it's such a 50-50 thing going on right now. And I hope that my views on this were helpful and rounded, and I hope you enjoyed this review. So if you did, give the video a thumbs up, and I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you all in tomorrow's video. Mwah.